You are listening to the Coinist podcast.
You brought up the ETF there, and I want to ask you about this because I haven't seen your answer on why you believe this. I think this is a rather contrarian approach, but I want to understand why, because maybe I just haven't thought about all the implications. You're kind of publicly against a Bitcoin
Yeah.
ETF, as opposed to
Mhm.
when you look at it, a lot of people, they're cheering it on every month or 3 months when it gets brought up and it gets filed. Everyone's kind of cheering on, could it happen this time, and how much money that'll bring in. Why do you think a Bitcoin ETF is a bad thing? Or do you think it's a bad thing? I guess I'll have you clarify your position first.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I just was talking to the board at a conference, and we were talking about this. So, I mean, where to start? I mean, the main thing is for me, right? Well, let's just start from an advisor perspective.
Mm.
Suitability. Let's just say it is passed by the SEC. You have to prove suitability to regulators. If they say, why did you buy a Bitcoin ETF for your client? Good luck explaining to a regulator that was the most efficient, cheapest, best way for your client to own Bitcoin when they can go right to Cash App. Which leads me to the next thing. Why would a client own a Bitcoin ETF when they can do it through Cash App, which goes right into open source cold storage, which most people don't understand how to own, to deal with their private keys or public keys or any of that. And if you look at it, if a client owns a Bitcoin ETF, that always trades. They could remove their Bitcoin from the market. That's a big piece here that people don't talk about. If a client owns Apple, they can never take Apple off the stock exchange.
Sure.
You can take your Bitcoin off of the exchange. That's a powerful thing. Also, going back to what you mentioned at the beginning, the true ethos of this space, if we're staying true and honorable to what it's about self-sovereignty, right? Owning your assets, having control over them. All a Bitcoin ETF is doing, and I understand the liquidity arguments and everything else, but from a individual investor standpoint, as I said, my clients will never touch it. I understand why some advisors want to do it because they don't want to have to learn all that and say, well, Van Eck, right? Van Eck will be responsible. But an ETF is roughly 30 years old. Most advisors, they've shown this through education, don't understand how the ETFs work. So we're going to put something advisors don't understand into something else they don't understand, and then we're going to push it on to clients. And I can keep going, but
Yeah.
I understand the institutional reason why, right? If you get this out there, everyone can make a lot of money. Supposedly the market will run up, but again, if we're really talking about it, the true power of crypto is being able to hold it on your own, the self-custody. And my argument will always be, how is a Bitcoin ETF better than Cash App? It's just not. There's no way you can argue that it is.
Just popping up to say thank you so much for tuning into the show. I really do appreciate all of your attention. I don't take it for granted. You guys make the show worth doing. If you listen on iTunes or Spotify or you watch here on YouTube, remember to hit subscribe. I used to never hit that button, but hit it because it will give you a notification when I have a new hedge fund or venture capital firm, or I have an analyst on where the market's going, or an exchange so you understand what you're buying and selling. I don't want you to miss these conversations. So hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra generous, want to get the word out, leave me a comment here on YouTube or drop a rating on iTunes. I cannot say thank you enough for those of you who do that. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, move slow, trade well, and I'll see you guys soon.